Welcome back to my dark corner of this sick world.
It's really not very dark yet, you know.
We're looking at The Monsters Demolisher, and I don't even know where to start with that title.
The term is destroy.
The film features a descendant of the prophet Nostradamus. A vampire descendant, and I'm tempted to believe that someone got Nostradamus mixed up with Nosferatu.
I'm not sure I heard you clearly.
This is the sequel to The Curse of Nostradamus. Couldn't find a good copy of that, but this one is on Prime. Part 2 of a 4-part movie series edited together from a 12-part serial, which does explain some of the issues.
I don't think that needs any explanation.
It picks up where the first film finished, with the vampire buried but not out.
The most unfortunate thing is that Nostradamus is still alive.
This vampire has quite an original motivation. He wants Professor Duran of the Society to Abolish Superstitions, that's the SAS, to clear the name of the original Nostradamus, who is apparently remembered as a villain.
You remember I asked you to revindicate the memory of my illustrious ancestor.
In the first film, the skeptical Duran is convinced of the existence of vampires, but the SAS still refuses to accept it.
Nothing you can say can make us change our minds about it.
In the face of what you'd think was overwhelming evidence. Anyway, Nostradamus's basic gimmick is to call his shot, like a sort of undead Babe Ruth.
Peter Madison, who is the next victim, will die before the week's out.
I'm going to kill this man unless you say nice things about my dad. But
my husband died a long time ago.
Peter Madison is already dead.
I'll kill Peter Madison, Jr.
Duran and his assistant Antonio rush to protect the child.
Your son should remain in our custody.
Why wouldn't his mother allow that?
You have a very handsome boy.
But Nostradamus's hunchbacked assistant distracts them.
That hunchback's kidnapping.
And the vampire kidnaps Peter.
I'll take you to where she is.
Back in his lair, however, he should really invest in curtains. The good guys now arrive to stake Nostradamus in his coffin. One slight problem.
Help me, Professor.
Not a strong moment for Antonio.
Put your back into it.
After a brief showdown,
Goodbye for now, Professor. We'll be seeing each other very shortly.
Nostradamus makes a break for it.
No doubt about it, sir. He escaped it.
And again, the vampire calls his shot.
Do as you're told, or Joseph McTaggarson is the next man who will meet his fate.
Well, this will be difficult. There must be hundreds of Joseph McTaggarsons in Mexico.
You see, the man's a delinquent, but his nickname is Bobby the Whaler.
Antonio has a lead.
Were you looking for me?
Oh, didn't see you there. This man knows where to find Bobby the Whaler.
Bobby's going to the gallows early. He murdered 2 people.
Yes, unable to kill a child, Nostradamus now sets his sights on a condemned man, and I, for one, am very invested in whether the state or the vampire gets to kill him. The state. But suddenly, nothing happens.
Are you trying to frighten me?
Actually, Nostradamus got there first, turning Bobby into a vampire.
Bobby the Whaler!
He actually manages to kill someone. Ish. Now faced with 2 vampires, the good guys get some help.
I'm suggesting that we join forces in the struggle against Nostradamus.
This is Igor Craddock, vampire hunter.
I'm not going to talk about these monsters.
Oh, yes, he is.
The first of these infamous creatures appeared during the 13th century in a forgotten village in the Balkans.
But he also has a cool trick to find vampires.
But the paradoxical thing is that the only instrument that will help us to locate these creatures is a mirror.
How paradoxical. Hurrying to the crypt, Igor gives his step-by-step instructions.
Begin by opening it. And after that, I'm going to stick this cane into his black heart.
Simple instructions, yet Antonio's worst nightmare. Another strong moment.
It's opening.
I loosened it for him.
Go! Igor has so decreed.
Bobby the vampire is staked, while Nostradamus lives to fight another... Oh, no. The staking of his apprentice has induced heart failure.
That is, unless you can resuscitate him again, employing your powers to satisfy your madman's impulse for killing.
OK, this can't be judged in isolation. It's part 2 of 4, but that means halfway through the series, the big bad has already died twice.
Why are you such an insatiable fiend?
And in this quarter, he hasn't killed anyone who wasn't already condemned to death.
Want to look?
So, a pretty useless villain, but he needs to be. Because if he was killing people left, right and centre, it would draw attention to the fact that all Professor Duran has to do is clear the original Nostradamus' name.
I think you know how many are doomed to die later on because one man stupidly goes on resisting.
Well, none, actually. But the point remains. The Professor is risking lives over doing something that would actually harm no one.
Imbecile.
And that's not just a problem with this film. That's a problem with the whole series.
That's offensive and we won't tolerate it.
Thanks for watching. If you'd like a more threatening vampire story, then check out my new book, The Immortal Dracula, available on Amazon. There's a link in the description below.
Goodbye, I've got things to do.